sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at upnradio.com.
It's time for New Wellness TV with Dr. Lee. Join your host, the accomplished Dr. Cherilyn Lee, as she welcomes the leading experts in health and well-being as they explore the advancements in natural health, physical fitness, nutrition, integrative medicine, and self-discovery.
Welcome everyone to another wonderful Wednesday, or whatever time you choose to watch the show, or listen, because we're both television and radio. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Wellness TV with your host, Dr. Cherilyn Lee. I am always excited, well, even more so today, because my guest traveled very far, very, very far, not to just be a guest on the show, but that was one too, but also because of something that's happening this weekend. And we'll give you the date and time and all that. But I am so excited to have in the house with me today at New Wellness, here at UBN Studio, Andy, Ramsay, and Marcus Bird. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank you. And our topic is something that's long overdue. Long overdue. We go to workshops and seminars on so many levels as wellness practitioners to help heal other people. Yes. But what do we do for us so we can get to that next level? So our topic is the wellness revolution and the future of holistic leadership. Leadership. We're the leaders when we step out there. Absolutely. So we want to make sure as a leader that we're healthy as well. And if we're stressed on how to make ends meet, and sometimes there's no ends at all, you know, we need to know how we can do that. So this is what your company is all about, your organization is all about, and I love what it is you're doing for the leaders of the future.
Yeah, well, certainly I think, you know, it's very hard to fill other people's buckets when your bucket's empty.
Yes.
And so it's really important that you not only look after ourselves as leaders, but also learn how to get our message out to, you know, to an audience who are ready to hear.
Yeah.
And we believe that there's a new paradigm of leadership that's required on the planet, and that has more to do with vulnerability, you know, your humanity as opposed to your perfected state.
Okay.
You know,
Tell people where you're from.
Yeah, so you might notice we have accents.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have accents. You have accents.
Pretty strong ones.
We're from Melbourne, Australia, so down under.
Okay.
I'm from New Zealand originally, but
Nice.
spent most of my life in Australia.
Yeah.
And we run events all around Australia, Canada, and the USA.
Tell everybody the name of your events and why. Why it's important, and how long have you been doing this? This is very. I was very curious because you look very young.
Yeah.
Both
Oh,
of you.
wow, thank you.
Thank you.
So tell me the name of your events.
Yeah, so
and why did you decide to do this?
So the name of the event is Wellness Leadership Revolution.
Okay.
And we've been in the wellness industry for 30 odd years, originally as practitioners and then as sort of mentors and trainers.
Yeah,
to
my background is
practitioners.
Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
Marcus's is kinesiology and counselling and corporate as well.
Yeah.
So we both have a very solid background in the industry as practitioners.
Okay.
But we also recognise that practitioners evolve. And
Yes.
there are a good percentage of practitioners that are really here as leaders and here to bring something beautiful to the world. And often the modality that they've been trained in, or the collection of modalities that they've been trained in, doesn't allow them to step out as a leader.
Yes.
So it can often be the biggest impediment to being the full potential of who you're really here to be.
Yes.
And that's really the crux of our message.
Yeah.
And there's tools, and this is what you're going to talk about. But tell me, what made you get into setting up this organization to really kind of, you know, work with the leaders, the wellness leaders?
Yeah.
Why did you start? What made you?
Well, I think, you know, through our journey as practitioners, we realised that if we were going to make a bigger impact and really live up to our full potential and the message that we're here to deliver on, that we had to do something different. And so both Andy and I went on our own separate but very similar journeys to sort of reach a bigger audience and help more people. And it was quite funny that I decided to go live. So I ran live events all around Australasia.
And I went global. So I took my message and my magic and took it just from beyond Chinese medicine. And I went out at a global level and started working with people more specifically on the whole life picture, so not just
the wholeness.
Yeah, that's right. And really, I think
that's why it's holistic. It should be with a double.
Exactly. And I think we both recognize, and this is one of the reasons we came together, we both recognize that there is such a need for practitioners to become leaders and to step outside of that small little box that they've put themselves in. And the world needs us more than ever. And both Marcus and I had a kind of rude awakening to that. My son got sick very quickly, and I was stuck in a time for money scenario, having to show up one-on-one in a local business setting. And my son had a life-threatening condition and had to be in hospital, and I couldn't be there with him every single day.
Yes.
And I realized I hadn't created a business that worked for me and the people I loved the most, and I was stuck in that practice building scenario.
Right.
And so once my son's well, he's great now, he's 10 years old, he's awesome. Once he came home, I made a pact with myself that I would start creating the freedom to be with the people I love the most whilst fulfilling my mission.
And that's powerful. Say that one more time.
So it's about creating the freedom that you need to be able to spend quality time with the people you love the most, the people that are closest to you in your life, and at the same time be able to fulfill your mission,
your global mission, and have a quality of life yourself.
Absolutely.
Well, be with the family and have a quality life.
Exactly.
Because if you work, which I used to do that, I didn't even realize it was so bad until I closed the practice and I start doing concierge.
Yeah.
And I said, there's daylight.
Yeah.
The world looks so beautiful. I was going into clinic early in the morning and leaving at 12 and 1 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then you go home and you start the whole routine, and I love what I do. But it's like, gee, where is it any time for me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there wasn't, even though I love what I do.
Yes.
You have to take time off for yourself.
Yeah.
So when I did that, I said, there's a world, and I'm going to do things a little bit differently.
Yes.
And now after meeting you two,
yes.
I know a lot of things, because you're going to give us some tools.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Within this weekend,
absolutely,
to utilize so that we could still go globally,
yes,
if you want,
internationally,
if you want,
and
still have that freedom. Get your 8 hours sleep at night.
Well, I think the key here with it is about choice. It's not about whether you do one thing or the other. It's actually giving you the choice to do whatever inspires you.
Yes.
And with that choice to give you the time, location, and financial freedom to deliver on that.
Yes.
And that's really the key for us, is we want you to have choice.
Yes.
And I think I saw this really working live a couple of years ago when my wife came home and gave the worst news possible, that she had breast cancer. And in that moment, before she went to have, all of the treatment she was going to have, I asked her, what do you want to do? And she goes, I want to sit on a beach with my family. And within a week we were there. And the great thing about it is the business didn't change. My lifestyle, nothing changed because of that. And it allowed me, like Andy, to be with one of my loved ones throughout that. So it's really important.
Yeah, so often our businesses, the tail starts wagging the dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
And rather than, us working in the business, we need the business to work for us.
Exactly.
And it's sort of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Once your needs are taken care of, once the people that are closest to you know that they're loved and cared for, then you can start fulfilling on a global mission. And if you go out there and start to try to change the world without first making your own bed,
it makes it harder. It does. Right? And burnout is a real thing that starts to happen. And we see that happen all too often, don't we?
And then what we say, the future of holistic leaders, there's so many modalities of holistic health, and we have so many holistic leaders, and everybody, I feel everyone is sort of ordained in a way to go into what's comfortable for them, what they like. And if you do that and not doing it just for money, then you're going to love what you're doing anyway. We love what you do. We got to earn funds as well. But since you've started this, there's so many different things coming up as it relates under the heading of holistic. So what are type people, and I know you told me a little bit here, holistic people that you're working with?
Yeah, so I suppose it's anyone in the wellness, what we would consider the wellness
Okay.
industry.
Health and wellness.
Health and wellness, yeah. And that's, anything.
That's broad.
Yeah, it can
Would
be.
you like me to share a little
Yeah,
bit about
go for
that?
it.
So,
Yes.
so one of the good bits of news that we love delivering at our events is that basically the economy of the wellness industry. So it's way bigger than anybody
Oh my
ever
goodness, yes.
imagined. So
I was going to get into that one.
Yeah.
yeah,
it's
well,
huge.
there was a book written about 15 years ago called The Wellness Revolution by an economist called Paul Zane Pilzer.
Okay.
It's Zanpilzer. And that book forecasts the wellness industry as the next $1 trillion industry. And, what's mind-blowing is that 15 years later, it's a $3.75 trillion industry, growing at a rate
goodness.
of 10.6%,
Per annum,
which
yeah.
is mind-blowing. But it's not only just health and fitness, it's integrative medicine, it's wellness real estate,
It's functional medicine.
wellness
Yeah.
tourism.
Complementary.
Absolutely.
absolutely. It's
all
all of those.
combined. And that's what my clinic is, all of the above.
Yes.
Yeah, we kind of have all of the above there and other people I work with,
Yeah,
because I'm not a chiropractor and don't wear all those hats.
Yes.
But we are a functional medicine, integrative medicine. So we integrate both traditional medicine in with. But even when I was working for an HMO, they're all setting up wellness components.
Yes.
So this is so broad for so many people to take advantage of this weekend.
I think one of the biggest distinctions is that when you look at this is another aspect of the good news. When you look at the rate of the wellness industry and how fast it's growing, and you then look at organizations that are not there for holistic medicine and are not there to represent wellness, and that are purely focused on profiting from disease, that industry is actually only 1.1 trillion. So the good news is that the pharmaceutical industry that is only profit driven and not holistic in nature actually is 3 times smaller than the wellness leadership, the wellness industry.
Oh, I believe it. This is why people
Yeah.
seek
Which is-
me out and other
Which
practitioners.
is great news.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they have insurance, and I don't take insurance.
Yeah.
And they say because of the fact that I'm not getting everything I feel that I need to have.
Yes.
The one thing that I pride myself on is patience with people. It's so important to take patience.
Yes.
I was a patient, the other patient most of
Yes.
my life. I was ill,
Yes.
and I saw how people had a lot of patience, or they didn't take the time to listen, or they didn't take good history. And I'm like, and I ran into some really good ones, but the majority of them, they just, because you're given a small window of time with a patient,
Yes.
a very small window. And when you go over that time period with an HMO, some of the doctors and people are docked, and
Right.
or you're going to be penalized for that. So I didn't like working like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I might take 2 hours with a patient.
Yeah,
It's
right.
okay, but I want that person to feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
So finding you're helping everyone to find their niche.
Yeah.
Find their niche, and then not only just find your niche, but how to expand upon it.
Yeah.
So why don't you give me an example of what people, give me an example of some of the people you work with, because
Yeah, absolutely.
you're so calm and laid back that I want people to know this is really serious this weekend.
It is.
This
It
is
is
going to
serious.
ignite you to another level,
Yeah.
and I want people to
Yeah.
really know that.
Well, I think the key for us, especially this weekend, is to take a stand for holistic leaders, for wellness entrepreneurs,
Yes.
and really help them to step up to whatever that next level is for them, to allow their dreams and desires for a beautiful future or a big picture or whatever it might be for them to actually come to fruition. And up until now, really, there's only been sort of one choice, which is to see people one-on-one in a local type setting. And now with obviously the internet and social media and all those things, the world is such a small place right now.
Yes,
And so we have amazing people, maybe you can share some of them, but some really amazing people doing some incredible work all around the planet. And it's just
Well,
it's
great.
beautiful to watch, isn't
a
it?
great example is Jen Oliver.
Yeah.
And we were just at her book launch in Toronto last week.
Yes.
Okay.
And Jen came to our first event 4 years ago, and she was sitting in the audience. She was lit up like a Christmas tree. She was she was so inspired.
Like me a little bit?
Totally. She was so inspired by
Yeah.
the message, and she ended up working with us. And What she was doing was she was a personal trainer working with groups of people in the local park. Not a car park, like a park.
Okay.
Our accent's going to be a little bit deceiving,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in the local park, and she was earning like $30 an hour, and helping people, but not really empowering them in the way that she really wanted to. Because one massive distinction between sickness and wellness is that the sickness industry focuses on purely just the alleviation of symptoms, but quite often, but through looking through the microscope,
I know that quite well.
Yeah.
through looking through the microscope, creates a whole lot of other symptoms. But the wellness industry is really, at the end of the day, the key word here is empowerment. Empowerment. If we're not empowering our patients and our clients to take responsibility for their own healing journey,
Yes.
then it's a sickness paradigm.
It is.
Right? Because for some reason we're taking credit for fixing somebody or making them feel better. But in actual fact, if we don't leave them feeling empowered in their own choices and their own journey, that's not wellness. So Jen recognized that. So she was a personal trainer trying to help people. But at the end of the day, she wasn't providing the full potential of what she knew she was capable of.
Right.
Because she's such an inspiring woman, so much energy.
She's
She's got
amazing.
2 little girls of her own. She had a serious back injury, and she had to heal herself through that. So we
Yes.
helped her refine her message, create a brand. Her brand is Love Fit Mama. And it's all
okay.
about
lovefitmama.com.
Love
Yeah.
Fit Mama.
it's all
I
about,
like that.
Yeah, it's all about helping new mums restore their core energy
Yes.
after giving birth, which is a big issue.
Yes.
So many mums don't get the support they need. My background's obstetric, so I get it. I worked with a lot of women through pregnancy.
Oh, wow.
And so we helped her get her message out there, get online. Her results were incredible. She had this vision to travel the world with her family and her husband, take time off, travel the world with her 2 girls. And literally within about 6 months of working with us, she was traveling the world.
Yeah.
I remember this
my.
social media post in
I know.
Fiji.
It was in Fiji, where she's sitting on a beach saying that she just earned money in a time zone before her actual time zone
Yeah.
in Toronto,
Oh,
which
my
was
goodness.
really
in the
amazing.
future.
How
She made money
future.
in the future.
Yeah, which was great. And
That's
now she's
why.
a best-selling author with
Yeah.
her book, and she's a TEDx speaker.
That's right.
And she's traveling the world and touching lives all over the
making
globe.
a massive difference.
Massive difference.
Being more of herself,
Yeah.
which is really what this is all about.
And I think that is the key. It's
Yeah.
about being, really authentic, and
Yes.
vulnerable.
And I think people should know to come with great expectations of what they want from this.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, you have to walk in and say, I know. And like I know I'm going to walk out and I'm going to have a whole nother level.
Yes.
And I'm doing a lot of things now, and I'm going to kind of fine tune some things.
yeah, yeah.
And I know it's going to be different.
And that's the key
I
at
feel
the
this.
weekend. You're going to
Yeah.
come in and you're going to refine your message. You're going to refine your target market.
Right.
You can actually start to build a framework of your wellness journey, what we call the wellness journey, which is a real journey to empower people.
It's really how to package your program.
It is.
isn't
It's packaging up your signature program.
One of the things that we're really big on is intellectual property. And it's a
Absolutely.
kind of dry business word, but actually understanding how to create commercially viable systems and strategies and techniques and visual models and ways of languaging who you are and what you do on the planet is actually probably one of the greatest skills you can develop as an entrepreneur. And one of the things in the wellness space that we've discovered is that we're all, amazing at our craft.
Yes.
We're amazing at our modalities,
Yes.
but we don't have enough of the commercial smarts and intelligence to get our work out there. And we're not taught it
No.
in our degree or in our
that's right.
diploma or whatever we learn.
Yes.
We're not taught how to get our message out there.
And I think the problem that leads to is then people, when they go out to share their message, they tend to sort of vomit on people.
Yeah.
They tend to sort of just chuck out this message. And
Yeah.
unfortunately what happens is people judge us by that message. And if you
chaotic.
can't deliver your message in a clear, concise, congruent manner in around about 12 to 15 seconds, then people are going to start judging that maybe you're not very good at what you do. If you can't share your message clearly, how can you be good at what you do? And we
Exactly.
know that's not real. And so we have to learn how to do that really in a commercially clever way.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we teach on the weekend is
At the
how to get
event.
your message delivered in a really commercially clever way. And what we find is people actually even get referrals in that event. So they walk
Right.
away with new clients
Nice,
just because
okay.
they craft a really good message.
Actually, at the event you walk away with a 12-second pitch done.
Yeah.
And it describes who you are, what you're an expert in, or what you specialize in, the people you work with, the benefits you provide to them,
Yes.
and your mission on the planet, all in 12 seconds.
It's a little bit like your elevator pitch on
Yes,
steroids.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. In
On
under 12
steroids,
seconds.
yes.
Yeah.
But this pitch, the difference is that it takes the box of what people perceive you in this box as a chiropractor, as a integrative doctor, as a naturopathic doctor, as an osteopath, and they create a box, and they want to fit you into that box.
Exactly.
Now, what we do is we teach you how to get out of that box and how to craft a message so that people can no longer put you into a box.
Yeah.
And
So-
what that does is it creates intrigue, and
Absolutely.
it creates an opportunity to have a conversation with people about this amazing thing that you do.
Yeah. And they really get the message then, and they really know whether they want to engage with you or not. And either way is fine, or they know someone else who might need that, and so it's very powerful.
But they don't buy you as a commodity anymore.
Exactly.
Stop
Because
doing that.
the hourly rate practitioner is a commodity, and it doesn't value the magic that is within every individual
Exactly.
practitioner.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, and that's what we want to help people get out of that that box.
Well, we're just, I'm just knowing of you just in the last couple of days.
Yes.
And I had a chance to go through and learn a little bit more through the email that was sent to me. And I met you through my dear friend Jonathan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our
Who
dear friend
is-
Jonathan.
Jonathan
Yes.
Jonathan's great.
He's one of a kind.
And when he told
We
me, I
love
said,
Jonathan.
they have to be on the show
Yeah.
Wednesday. They have to be on
Yeah.
the show. And he said,
Thank you.
well, they're flying in, Tuesday night.
We flew in at midnight last night, and
Oh my
which was
goodness.
3 a.m. Toronto time,
Yeah.
because we flew in from Toronto.
Oh, my
So,
goodness.
yeah,
You
so-
made it here.
Here's a secret for jet lag.
That's right.
Don't believe
There's
it.
no such thing.
Don't believe it. It's not true.
We don't believe in
It's
jet
all
lag.
in your mind.
It is.
Yeah.
Because, I've flown and I've never had it.
Yeah.
Great.
So I kept saying,
Yeah.
why do people say they have it?
Exactly.
Well, fly to Australia and back, and then
Yeah.
see.
And still don't believe it though.
But it takes
Yeah.
a certain perspective, and when you're traveling that much and you've got to keep showing up,
Yes.
you need to meditate, you need to visualize yourself showing up, you need to be in a great state of mind,
Yes.
and and put everything else to the side.
Yeah. We do a lot of work on that, especially when we're traveling.
I know that a lot of my associates on so many different levels, because I have many platforms of healthcare that I'm kind of involved with, but one in particular, which is really phenomenal, is the Santa Monica Santa Monica Holistic Chamber.
Okay.
Oh, great.
So a lot of them are watching, and
Fantastic.
I'm going to be sending them to shows, so I'm sure a lot of them are going to want to attend this weekend.
Fantastic.
It's wonderful that you have
Really
a
great.
holistic chamber of commerce.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
it
We
is.
need that in Australia.
We do need that in
Yeah.
Australia.
Well,
Yeah.
California.
Yeah, we
it's a
do
hotbed
so
of
many
wellness.
things. So,
Yeah, that's
and
great.
then we have a functional medicine chamber
Okay.
that I've already spoke to someone there who is a cardiologist.
Okay.
So he's excited.
Wow, fantastic.
And like I said, since Jonathan told me about you and what you were doing, within probably the last 48 hours, I have made a lot of calls.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Now I'm going to be able to send the show
Thanks,
because
Cheryl.
it will
Yes.
be on YouTube, on the YouTube channel.
Yes.
Thanks to my dear producer over here, Jarvis.
Yes.
It will be up tonight, so we'll be sending. I'll be
Fantastic.
sending that out to different people so they can to watch it. Send them the link so they can watch. So let's go in a little detail now and tell people what they're going to expect. We still have time to go.
Yeah.
But what can they expect this weekend?
Well, we're going to.
It's 2 days.
Yes.
Saturday and Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to dive deep into you as the practitioner.
Okay.
And really, I love the tree metaphor. And in fact, this is one of the reasons Andy and I got together, because I loved his tree metaphor.
Yeah.
And I couldn't
Yeah.
steal it because I don't believe in that. And so I went, I've got to partner with him. No, only kidding.
Okay.
But it's really about taking that seed of potential, right?
Yeah. Look, the way that we look at wellness leadership, and this is what we do over the 2-day event, is we help that individual wellness practitioner or wellness leader or wellness entrepreneur take their seed of potential. And the first thing in nature, before a seed grows up towards the light and transforms, light energy into through the process of photosynthesis, first thing it does is anchor its roots.
Yes.
And it's the same, and this is the way that we perceive the future of all business, is that you have to anchor your roots in yourself first. So
Yes.
self-care, self-love, the inner work,
Absolutely.
the meditation, getting your sleep right, your nutrition right, your hydration right, being an example
Yes.
of wellness and well-being for other people, because often the transformation that we're here to deliver happens in our bedside manner more so than it does through our tools.
Yes.
It's like
Absolutely.
who's that really funny doctor? Patch Adams.
Patch,
right?
yeah.
Patch Adams was, he knew that healing happened when he made somebody smile. It changes the chemicals in your body. It changes
Oh,
the
yes.
endocrine system changes. Everything changes.
I have seen
does.
that.
Your
Yeah.
neurons
Mhm.
fire
Does.
differently when you start smiling. And,
Yes.
and he knew that the greatest form of healing came through making somebody smile or laugh.
Yeah.
It's the same with
Which is free. I tell everyone,
Absolutely,
give someone a
yeah.
smile. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't have to give them money, at least give
Yeah.
them a smile.
Absolutely.
That's free.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that is.
So we teach you how to anchor your roots first,
Yes.
because life circumstances are going to come along at some stage and try and knock you over.
Oh, yes.
And the more you're anchored in your roots and in your self-connection, self-care,
Yeah.
self-love,
Yeah.
the more you're going to be able to thrive.
Yeah.
And then the
And then,
trunk.
and then you can build a really solid trunk
Okay.
of your, mission and the magic and the message you're here to share and the market you're here to serve. And one of the distinctions that we talk about on the weekend is that we're not here to heal and fix everybody.
Exactly.
We're actually here for a particular tribe. And it's really important to get very clear on that tribe. Who is that A-grade tribe, so that you can make the biggest impact possible,
Right.
not only on their lives, but your life. Our world changed when we got super clear on who our A-grade tribe, who our avatar was. Our world totally changed personally and professionally. So we show you how to do that. And then it's about building
The branches.
the branches.
Yeah, and the branches can grow. Never in nature do you see a tree with one branch.
Yeah.
It's not
Unless
natural.
it's not well.
Unless it's
Yes.
been ravaged by a storm and it's half dead. But the reality of our business that we've been sold, the idea of a practitioner is as a tree with one branch, but we're also multi-dimensional. We're
Yes, we
also multi-talented, that we can grow these other branches of being an author, going out and publishing books,
Yeah.
being a speaker and doing TED Talks,
Absolutely.
or being a trainer and running live events, getting online and creating a membership program or a
Yeah.
podcast series, even licensing a methodology to other people and
Yeah.
having them facilitate your methodology.
Yes,
So
yes.
there's all these different branches that you can deliver your expertise through
Absolutely.
and offer your transformational fruit to the world. And that's really what we teach in the 2 days. But I guess more specifically, we help you to clarify your 12-second message.
Good.
We help you to frame up your program. So you'll leave the event with a packaged framework for a 90-day program.
Yeah.
Okay.
That then you could then replicate into, because it's like a 12-week program, you
Yeah.
can then learn how to replicate it into a 12-chapter book, also like a 2-day event. So this one core framework can then be replicated across all the branches.
Yeah, and we're going to help you to really find out who you are, what you're really here to do, and then from that to really sort of dive deeply into what's your niche and who's the target market you're here to deliver that to, and it's an amazing journey.
Yeah. One of the great distinctions, I think, is the difference between, we talked about it a little bit earlier, the difference between A, B, and C grade
Yeah.
clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
C grade clients are actually not a good fit. And what that means is you feel drained whenever you work with them.
Yes.
And C grade clients don't evolve when you work with them, and you don't evolve. So what happens as a result of that is there's a relationship that gets established where it doesn't benefit, it benefits neither person. So what we tend to recommend is when a C grade client shows up, have a list of associates or colleagues that you can refer them to, because your C grade client is somebody else's A grade client.
Oh,
And it's
I
about
like that.
understanding
Yeah. I
the
like
that.
distinction. Yeah, because we are not here to work with everybody.
We're not.
And we've been fed a myth about that. We've been fed a lie that we're meant to be a village doctor or a doctor that's meant to work with everybody. But the reality is we do need to look after ourselves. And if we're attracting clients that aren't the right fit, we're going to get drained and we are going to burn out.
Yeah,
So,
and we have to kind of look at ourselves when that happens too.
yeah.
Because, I had a tendency, and my daughters used to work with me during that time, that, and one person said, do you feel worthy of yourself because you want to just almost give everything away?
Yes.
And I had to really start watching that, because it was my mindset when people walked in the door that,
Yeah.
I need to give this to them, or give a discount, or do this or do
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And when I stopped that, it was better for them and it was better for me.
Yeah.
Because it's something that changes in you as well when that happens. So
Yeah.
as a practitioner, I want to be an authentic person, which
Yes.
I do, and let people know.
Yeah.
And I had a situation with a patient not long ago where it's just like so many things kept happening. I couldn't get back to this person. So finally I said, you know what, I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to have to give them a call and say, look, I have no excuse.
Yeah.
You know, I just asked for an apology because so many things happened where I could not fulfill some things I needed to do. So, you know, when you come from the heart and let people know,
Yes.
and then people, you know, it's funny how that relationship right then felt different. It felt it felt good.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. It felt good.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you know, things are going to happen in life
Yeah.
that we have no control over.
Sure.
And I have a tendency, and I have to be very careful, is I make a lot of promises.
Right.
I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. And at the time, it just feel like I can.
Yes. Yes.
But I need to start stepping back and say, you know, I'll get back with you. You know, I'll set a date and time later because I would burn myself out.
Absolutely.
Well, what and this is a cool distinction because when you get really clear on who you are, what you're here for, and then you take it a step further and you get crystal clear on the people you're here to work with, the specific qualities of the
Yes.
people you're here to work with, what happens then when there's a match is that you feel incredibly inspired to work with these people. They're very, very motivated
Oh,
to
yes.
transform. They listen to your advice. They're willing to do what it takes. They pay you what you're worth.
Yes.
And these people take you to a whole nother level. So
Yeah.
they will call
And
you
that's,
to evolve.
that's what's happening
will.
now because someone asked
Exactly.
me the other day, they said, well, you know, how are you doing your marketing? And I said, really, my patients are word of mouth.
Yeah.
You know, one lady came in because it was like 13 years ago, her mother had cancer and she's still doing great.
Yeah.
You know,
Fantastic.
and I take things to a whole nother level too in my practices. We meditate and pray first.
Yeah.
I don't do anything without prayer because of my own personal relationship with God and the things I've been through and been in 2 comas. So the first coma wasn't pleasant. I went to hell. And the second coma, I went to heaven.
Wow.
So in working with people, I tell them certain things, if you don't change, this is what can happen, because I've been there.
Right.
And I know what it feel like. And when you know how things feel, then you know, you can help a person.
Well, I
And
think
people know, they know I'm an authentic person. The one thing I kind of got branded with in 2009 because of a situation is that people knew I would work with them and help them. And to the point that I wasn't money driven. You know, it wasn't about money.
That's good.
So they said, you know, I feel that if I go to her, she's going to do the best she can to help me heal. And it's not about what it's going to cost.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to, you know, ask for more, do more. But kind of gave me kind of a reputation of being a really honest person.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Right.
I was offered a lot of money for something and I turned it down.
Yeah.
So, and kind of the world saw that. So, and I tell people, all money is not good money.
Yeah.
You know, so you want to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
It's so important.
That
And
is.
and again, I'm so excited about the weekend because I know it's going
Yeah.
to take me to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And we always keep evolving and learning more
Absolutely.
about ourselves.
Well, we have to.
And with your workshop, you're going to condense that for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
You know, I've been a practitioner for over 35 years
Yeah.
and worked in so many arenas and seen so many things. I think that to fine tune some things is really good as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what's going to happen on the weekend. We're going to get you to do the work. So this is not just about Andy and I speaking. This is about the participants doing the work, you know. And as we
Really?
said
We have to
before,
talk?
yeah,
Yeah, it's like
well, there's a
120
120-page manual
Yeah,
where you're going to get in and
Really?
do the
Gets
work.
Oh, my
yeah,
goodness.
because what we want to have happen is you to walk away and have some really great tools to actually apply to your business straight away. And what we see so often, and we've experienced in other workshops, is that you get this amazing manual, you take lots of notes, you get home, life gets in the road, you throw it on a shelf. 6 months later, you're dusting and you go, oh, there's that manual. I was going to do all that and I didn't. And we don't want that to happen with our participants. So we get in and do some of the work because we believe that if you've at least done the first draft of the work, you're much more likely to continue that work when you leave.
And the cool
Right.
thing is it's a 100% training
It
event.
is.
So we don't sell from stage or pitch a whole lot of
there's no
stuff
pitching.
that we want to sell to people.
No.
It's not about that. It's about
No, I've been to some of those too.
fulfilling.
haven't
Well, a
we
lot
all?
of people have been to
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and there's a bit of
Yeah.
there's a bit of a backlash that's happened. So
There
what
is.
we do is we run 100% training events.
Yeah.
You go there, we give you everything we possibly can in 2 days.
Yes.
Those people that want to talk to us about what we do, we have a conversation down the track,
Yes.
and that's fun. And the way that it works for us is we get to fulfill on our mission, which is moving the world to wellness.
Yeah.
And we do that by training holistic entrepreneurs to become leaders. And
That's
so
right.
the more we can
Wonderful.
get out there and
Yeah.
just teach all the stuff that we know is going to make the biggest difference, we feel good because we're fulfilling on our mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we get to, just travel the world and have fun. We love it.
Well, like I said, I have talked to a number of people, and one is she is the president, and I happen to be an ambassador with the Women's Federation for World Peace,
Wow.
and I've contacted them as well and let them
that's
know
great.
about what's happening this weekend. So
Fantastic.
it's each one passing the word on
Absolutely.
to try to help each other
Yes.
through this journey as well.
I think that's great.
So there's a lot of entrepreneurs and there's a lot of holistic practitioners that are members
Right.
of the Women's Federation for World Peace as well.
Fantastic.
And it's been wonderful being an ambassador for World Peace because
Absolutely.
we need that right now.
We do.
Yeah, what's going on right now, we
We do.
really need more
And I think
love and peace going on.
absolutely. Yeah, and I think at some point in time there was a belief that government or big business would sort of fix that. And it's not happened. And so
No.
it's the people at the coalface. It's people like you who are there with the people that are going to make the change in the world. And this is really important. This is the whole move the world to wellness, that we
Well,
speak of.
Very soon you guys will be giving your testimony about my
Yes. Absolutely, and we really look forward to that.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
But this is going to be wonderful.
Great.
Again, I said you guys are so laid back and so soft-spoken that, I'm sure everyone that's going to come, I'm going to let you know now, you're going, get plenty of rest because it's so relaxing.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
energy and your aura is just so relaxing.
Oh, thank
and
you.
very calm. And it's not like stand up shouting
Yeah.
every couple of minutes. Or,
No, there's
you know.
no shouting, and you'll find that we're very laid back as presenters, and it's about a co-creative space. It's not about us being better or than anyone else. It's a co-creative space, and we've just been down a path and learnt some tools and taught ourselves some things and experienced some things that we're going to share. But again, it's that co-creative space we love.
Right. And this is what I love. And this is what day-to-day life is all about.
It is.
Because things change from moment to moment.
Yeah.
And, in doing this, I could see this being very good for a person who, I have a couple of friends who are handicapped,
Right.
with family members are, and they are practitioners now, but they became handicapped after.
Okay.
So this is something they can do from home,
Yes.
learn and trade, and you can
Yes.
still do this from home. Because
Absolutely.
there's so much now done with social media.
Absolutely.
And this is going to be part of what you're going to teach as
Yeah,
well.
we're going to talk about we're going to talk about launching, what we call launching.
Launching.
One
Okay.
of the things that I experienced was moving from being in a local practice setting and then within 6 weeks having a global tribe of people that I could work with.
Wow.
And it was incredible. And one of the things that blew me away the most was the people that I started working with over Skype. This was 8 years ago now when I started this. And Skype was just starting, and it was really amazing to be able to work with people all over the world that didn't really know me. I didn't really know them, but I was able to make a difference, and it was because I was taking a stand for empowering them in whatever way I could, and through that process, people got 500% better results than the ones that were seeing me in the clinic.
Really?
And that really
Oh,
blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I started to question, why are the people that are seeing me as a consultant or a coach getting better results than people that are seeing me as a doctor? And the reason is because of this thing we call the doctor-patient paradigm, where it's been built on a sickness model. And the focus has always been on alleviation of suffering, which is a very noble practice. And so we're not against it at all. It's a very noble practice.
Yes.
But once we start taking an interest in not just alleviating suffering, but taking more of an interest in helping somebody align with who they truly are and the intelligence within their own body, and being an active co-creator in that intelligence and that healing and that transformation. When I started to shift from being a practitioner into being a facilitator of that, the results were so much more powerful because the person was taking more responsibility, and they were actively programming their cells. They were actively choosing their new neural pathways. They were actively choosing a more holistic approach to their life. And the ones that were seeing me as a doctor kind of wanted me to take responsibility.
Right.
You know?
One thing that I say in my practice when people arrive, number one, after giving them a nice hug and it's heart to heart,
Yes.
is that we are a team.
Great.
You know,
that's good.
and I am not the head of this team.
Yeah.
You know, we're all working together.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
and
great.
if in order for me to help you, you have to work with me, and I work with you.
Great.
So it's team.
Good.
You
That's
know.
that's a new paradigm
Yeah.
of
Absolutely.
healthcare, and
Yeah.
and
That's
that's the holistic approach to healthcare. And for hundreds of years now, the medical establishment has learnt Latin and how to phrase things in Latin, and the average person on the street doesn't know how to speak Latin, therefore didn't know the language of their own body. And now, because of Google and Dr. Google, people now can search their own symptoms.
Absolutely.
And they
Oh,
can
yes,
create their own
yes.
diagnosis and be a little bit more empowered. And through practices like yours, where the doctor actually steps aside and says, hey, this is about you. It's about us working as a team. That's wellness. That's holistic.
Yeah.
That's
right.
awesome.
Because we just
it
added
is.
something to our clinic this year. And actually, last year, when before it ended, I said, I want some new tools.
Yeah.
You know, I like tools and different equipment. That's just who I am. I love them. So this one was a voice analyzer. So it picks up the alpha rhythm of your voice.
Right.
And it tells me what's going on with you emotionally, psychologically.
Wow.
And it's just amazing what people, when it broke down the emotion and showed them on a scale, and it's numbered, you know, whether it was fear, holding you back, you were shy, whatever it was, you know, people who pondered over things a lot and didn't move forward. I mean, it really broke things down. But it also, you know, for me to help a person, I need to know a little bit more what's going on the emotional side.
Yes.
And some were holding on to things they didn't even know they were holding on to.
Yeah.
So, and just them counting to 100, I have 2 different devices, but one, they count to 100 and it tells them and show them what's going on. And also the homeostasis level of that particular machine. Because if you're really stressed and every little thing is bothering you, you know, you can't even focus on being a leader when all these things are happening to you.
Absolutely.
And it's not even so much a leader in the world, but if you're a leader within your home.
When you're, in
If
your
you're the
life.
caregiver as a mother, a father,
Yes.
you know, if you're the caregiver, then you're still a leader.
Absolutely.
And on your job, you may be a leader. You might be the supervisor. On a job, you're still a leader.
Absolutely.
And people are looking up to you. So you got to know.
And to add to that, you know, I think there is a quickening happening on the planet, and those that are stepping up have even more pressure on them to be the eye of the storm, because the chaos is not subsiding anytime soon.
No,
You know,
no, it isn't.
the external world is pretty crazy, and especially if we listen to the media, it makes it even worse.
Yeah.
In terms of that chaos. So, you know, the role of a leader is to find the eye of the storm and to be able to be that centeredness in the chaos. And when we're working with patients and when we're working with clients, whether it be locally at a live event, on a global level, it's the same thing. It's like you're showing
On
up.
a global level,
Yeah,
there's one
absolutely.
particular person who really needs your weekend course without saying a name.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably would need like 3 or 4 months
Yeah.
if that would help. But anyway, we know that. And I have my daughters who are all kind of leaders within their own right. And I know one of my daughters right now is an administrator of a hospital.
Right.
And she wants out. She said, I want to do something that's going to be more fulfilling
Yes.
than what I'm doing now. And at the time she went to school for it, it was different. So she's looking to do
Well,
something.
you know, that
great.
we've worked with a couple of women that have been in nursing that are really looking to bring through the nursing wellness revolution through the nursing. Because
Wonderful.
one thing that's amazing about nurses and women in general in the medical context is that they are holding a lot of the qualitative way of doing research, right?
Oh,
We're so stuck in the quantitative approach to research that we look at human beings through numbers and figures as opposed to emotions and states of being and how are they experiencing this medical journey. And I know that there is a really big shift happening in the nursing industry, and they are going to be the ones that are going to bring in the
Right.
wellness.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Yeah.
at one point they do have a holistic nursing association now.
Yeah,
Yes.
great.
Yeah, so they do have that.
Fantastic.
And that's, touch, hands-on healing, not so
Yeah.
much hands-on, but it's touch for health
Yeah.
and some other things. And they have even added prayer. They've done research and show even praying and retested a person to see how they healed.
Yes.
Let me just ask, too, how many countries are you affiliated with? And I know you're here
Yes.
in California
Yes.
and be in Orange County this weekend.
That's correct.
But how many other states do you go to and other countries?
Yeah.
We've
So
ran it,
so obviously we're in Australia,
Yes.
and tour Australia. We run live events in Canada, so Toronto and Vancouver. In the US, we run an event here in OC, but also towards the end of the year in San Diego.
Okay.
We've also run them in Seattle and a number of other areas.
San Francisco,
And San
yeah.
Francisco.
Okay.
But we have clients all around the world. We have clients in England and Israel and
Okay.
all over
Actually,
the
had
planet.
someone fly from Israel just this past week came
be
to
in-
Toronto.
with us in Toronto.
Okay.
So so we have clients around the world, and we're now starting to, branch out and run events in more and more states and more cities. And so we're looking forward to the East Coast and New York and around that area
Wonderful.
early next year, and
And the
eventually
UK
to the
and
UK
Okay.
and Europe. So
Wonderful. And you've been doing this how many years again?
we've been doing this together for about 4.5, 5 years, but we've actually been doing this sort of work for about 8 years, 9 years.
independently.
We were
Independently.
independent for many years, and
Uh-huh.
then we joined forces because we realised we had the same mission. And
What's
the
amazing?
funny,
we live locally.
we do. We live
Really?
near
Okay.
each other.
Marcus
we have mutual
used-
friends
Yeah, Marcus used to sit in the waiting room of my clinic.
to see his naturopath,
Yeah.
Oh.
which
Okay.
was very funny.
So we
And
knew
then
of each other.
We did. We knew of each other, and then when we started, because we were both. As we grew successful practices or successful wellness businesses, we were asked by other wellness entrepreneurs, how are you doing that? And we naturally just sort of fell into that.
That's right.
And then at some point, I remember I was watching online and I was looking at Andy and I was going, oh, Andy's doing a whole lot online. And I started to almost stalk him, which was quite funny. And little did I know, he was doing the same thing, going, oh, Marcus is doing all this live stuff. I want to be doing some of that. And eventually I just thought, both Andy and I have a very collaborative mindset. We don't have a competitive mindset at all, very collaborative. And I started to
that's
feel
great.
I started to feel myself getting a little bit competitive with Andy, and I thought, this is silly.
Yeah.
So I just picked up the phone and I rang him and I said, let's sit down and have a coffee or a tea. And we did. And for about 12 months, we met every 2 weeks and we just sat with each other and we just chatted and talked with no real agenda at the start, just to get to know each other. And we're in the similar industry. But eventually through that journey, we realized, that we had exactly the same mission, which was to move the world to wellness. And so I invited Andy onto my stage. Andy invited me onto his webinars, and we started to play this game. And then we had this awakening where we went, well, this is ridiculous. We should be doing this together. And we sat there and we thought, what's the ultimate thing we could create for wellness entrepreneurs? And we thought we could throw each of our own thing into a big pool and mix it up. And we thought, no, that's not what we want to do. We want to create something new that's cutting edge, that's really going to help wellness entrepreneurs go to a whole new level, and really express their true self on the planet, to live up to their full potential. because when we're born, we're these bundles of potential.
Yes.
And then we go
yes.
out into the world and we learn things and we get boxed and we get put in boxes.
Exactly.
And our potential starts to vanish. And so we want people to live up to their full potential. And so this is where we created the program, the Wellness Leadership Revolution. And we thought, we should launch this somewhere that tells the universe we're global. Because we could have launched in Melbourne, which is our hometown. And we had a big following at the time. And we thought, no, that's not telling the universe that we want to go global. So we launched in Toronto 4.5 years ago.
About as far away from Melbourne as you could get.
Yeah, and we launched to 150 people and 12 industry-leading sponsors, and it just went from there.
Yeah.
That
Actually,
is
what we
wonderful.
thought was going to double our impact in coming together actually took it to 10x.
Yeah.
It just took it to a massive level that we were not expecting. We had to
No.
hold on by the seat of our pants and we went for it.
And we have to keep pinching ourselves.
It's been like that ever
it's
since.
Just, it's gone so quickly, and we're making such a beautiful impact and meeting some incredible people doing incredible work on the planet, and being able to empower them to really do even more of that beautiful work is such an honour.
Well, one great example is a guy called Glenn Farrant. He's in Australia. He's a chiropractic doctor, and he right now he's been working on a program called Health Ninjas for children in schools to combat the obesity and diabetes epidemic, which is not just in North America, it's in Australia and the UK and all over the place. I mean, it's really having a big impact.
It's a big
huge.
issue.
It's an epidemic. So we've helped him package up this cool program called Health Ninjas, and he's now getting it approved in 50 schools across Australia.
Health Ninjas.
Health
That is
Ninjas.
so
Yeah.
wonderful.
And the kids get to play, and it's fun and it's playful, and they're learning about nutrition. And what's happening is they're going home and teaching their parents.
Yes.
So they're being empowered,
it's
to make better
Yes.
choices in their food, and then they're teaching their parents about better choices in food and
exercise, and everything.
I wish they were doing this in my little grandson's school, because my daughter, she said yesterday, she even told me, she said, I'm just at my wit's end. I sent him with these wholesome lunches and he don't want to eat them.
Yeah.
Because quite naturally they're not teaching that at the school.
Yeah.
So he wants to eat what everybody else has. So he just come home and don't want it.
Yeah.
So she said, I'm going to make him drink green drinks. Well, you can't punish him now, but it's so sad, and that is so wonderful. I'll have to see about the schools here and see if they can.
Yeah,
because that is so empowering.
It starts with
amazing.
education, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And I think for Andy and I, it's a really humbling experience to be a part of some amazing things that are happening, and it's sort of beyond our wildest dreams what's been coming out of this. And we're super excited, but super humble and honoured to watch this unfold and watch people really live into their full potential and create something that they may not have even thought of. When Glenn created Health Ninjas, he actually hadn't thought of that before he joined with us, and we started to help him to really define, what are you really here on the planet to do?
Right.
And he connected deeply with that, and all of a sudden this amazing creation came out of out of nowhere.
Well, and I think it's because
beautiful.
I mean, we don't want to blow our own trumpet here, but it's okay to have pat ourselves on the back every now and then.
It's all right.
We understand the industry really, really well, and we understand what niches are great, and also the different segments in the industry. Yeah. So we know a billionaire, for example, in Toronto, who's building an entire community in a town called Markham.
Yeah, a wellness community.
Basically a wellness community, and 1,000 condominiums, rainforests growing through the fire escapes, integrative medicine clinics. This is
organic
incredible stuff.
Incredible
stuff.
Wonderful.
And that's called wellness real estate. And he's a land developer out of the Raj era in India. His father sent all 5 siblings to different parts of the world with one task, and the task was to acquire land, to sit on the land until the land communicated what to do with it.
Oh my!
Right.
Like
So
that.
so this is what he's been doing the whole time. He's got land in Hawaii doing the same thing, and that's wellness real estate. And so our expertise in the industry is about understanding, well, what are the segments? Yeah. How does this person fit into the industry, and what's their legacy that they're really here to leave, and how can we best support them to do that? So many of us don't realize how that all slots in together. And it does take sometimes people that understand the industry and also understand the practitioner journey to then find that connection.
Yeah. And I think most of all, it's about having fun. You know,
Yes.
we're going to have fun. You know, we're
and
going
if
to
you go back
connect.
to your childhood and say, what is it that I played doing? What did I want to do as a child?
Yes.
That would the innocence then, and it was fun.
Yes.
It
So
was.
if you really look at yourself now, it's like, oh, I had fun, doing hair and doing, being the best cosmetologist or playing doctor.
Yeah.
Building things, being an architect.
Yeah.
Get into something that you really like. But if you go back to the child.
Yes.
The child within, you can almost find that joy again.
Absolutely.
We're almost out of time, but what I want, 30 seconds or a little less, each of you to look in the eyes of that person in that camera and tell them something from your heart that you want them to know about.
Yeah, so I think...
Right into the eyes of the camera, because you look into the eyes now.
For me, it's about, you are a bundle of potential. There's some amazing potential within. And for us, we really want you to step into that and be empowered to share that with the world. And we call it your magic. We want you to share your magic with the world. So this weekend is about taking a stand for that and really giving you the tools and techniques and systems and processes that will empower you to be able to deliver that onto the planet.
Yeah, and I think for me, I want you to be a self-loving human being, because that's the greatest form of leadership. People need more people out there that are self-connected, self-inquiring, willing to do what it takes to look after themselves. And that's frequency-based. It's vibrational. It's in vibrational in nature. If you're a self-loving human being, your leadership is going to land in the lap of your audience, and they're going to get it. Yeah. Without you even needing to communicate that much. It all happens vibrationally to begin with. And with the strategies and the tools, that last 20% will really be able to help you get your leadership out there in a big way.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you.
You.
I thank everyone for taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch the show. And make sure that the event is just on the screen there that you can see. It's this weekend, so please, everyone, go to your computers and register it now, because you have a discount right now,
Yeah, it's
too.
wellnessleadership.com.
Yes.
And, yes.
I think it's, I think we will be able to, I think there's a code. I don't know what the code is, though.
Yeah, we'll put it below the video.
Well, then, say that you sell them live here on
absolutely.
New Wellness TV with Dr. Lee.
Absolutely.
So mention
what we'll
that.
do is we'll give you the
email.
super early bird discount.
Yes.
Which is $147.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. So I want everyone to, I'm going to look for you there. I'm going to be there.
Great.
And just say that, I saw it on your show, and this is why I'm here. So I want to thank everyone, again, for taking the time out to listen to my wonderful guests. And I want to thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Marcus,
Thank you
for being a guest here today. And this is going to really change the world and help create some healthy, holistic leaders.
Yes.
We
Thanks for
have to
having
be
us.
whole
Thanks for having
ourselves.
us. Yeah.
So thank you so much. And now I want everybody to repeat after me. I don't have my little badge on today, but everybody should know what I say when I end my show. So repeat after me. And we all know that the I am is so powerful. So repeat after me. So this is not my I am. This is yours as well. I am.
I am
So grateful.
so grateful.
So grateful.
That I am.
That I am
A magnet.
a magnet
For miracles.
for
miracles.
miracles.
And let's make those happen. Have a wonderful, blessed day.
Join us every Wednesday live at 11 a.m. for New Wellness TV with Dr. Lee. Remember, healthy mind, healthy body.